Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making some mama fuel. That is coffee. I'm going to do some Starbucks copycats. Fun fact, I used to be a barista, and so I thought I have been spending way too much on coffee. I should use my own skills, start making it at home. So I'm going to show you how to make some fall lattes at home. All right, so the two drinks that we're going to make today are my personal favorite, the white chocolate mocha, and then also, of course, the pumpkin spice latte, because of course in fall, that's all the rage. So I'm gonna start with the white chocolate mocha, and since I'm making two drinks, I'm gonna go ahead and just make 1 cup of coffee because you need a half cup for each recipe. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make one and then use half for one and half the other. But if you're doing this at home, then you're gonna need a half cup of coffee. I'm just gonna make a whole one real quick. Wow. Now, I'm using the Starbucks espresso roast. I think that's the best for the latte type style drinks because it's an espresso roast. They also make instant espresso. This is one brand. It's Medaglia Doro. It's an espresso instant coffee. I don't prefer this one. My husband does. So you might just have to try and see what works best for you. You can also just use regular coffee. So just depends on the flavor profile, but this is what I prefer right now, the dark roast espresso roast from Starbucks. If you're doing a Starbucks copycat, then what better to use than the Starbucks coffee, right? So if you're making 1 cup of coffee, then you need about 2 tablespoons of coffee with your water for a full cup. So I'm doing a pour over right now because that's what we have. We actually don't have a coffee maker at our house. We always do either pour overs or French press or AeroPress, which I really love. But today I'm just gonna do pour over. Now, pour overs take a minute. So while that is making, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other part of the mocha latte. So you'll need a cup. You'll need some white chocolate chips, or you can also use syrup. I'm gonna do the chocolate chips because it's what I have. And you need 3 tablespoons of the chocolate chips. Now, mom hack here, measure once, remember, and never have to measure again. So I measured 3 tablespoons of chocolate chips, and what I found is that it completely covers the bottom of my mug, and that's like the measurement. So measure it once, find a cup, find a mug, and see what it looks like, and then you don't have to measure it again. You can just do in general what it looks like, which for me is filling the bottom of my mug. Okay. Then, now that I have the bottom of my mug and chocolate chips, I'm gonna go ahead and take some milk. I'm using vitamin D organic whole milk. And you're gonna pour about a half cup. You can actually do whatever ratio you really want. Half cup and half cup would be like the traditional, but I'm gonna do maybe a little less than half. I like it a little more coffee tasting. And then what I'm gonna do, this is the quick version, I'm gonna give that a little stir to kind of mix the milk with the chocolate chips, and I'm gonna put it in the microwave to melt the chips. Just goes a little quicker than having to pull out the double boiler. So I'm gonna put this in the microwave for about 30 seconds, give it a stir, see where we are. All right, I just pulled it out of the microwave. It is all mixed. It took 55 seconds in total. I did 30 seconds, stirred, put it back in for 25 more, and it's perfect now. Nice and warm. The milk is perfect. The chocolate's all melted. You could also, I have a milk frother, so you could use a milk frother. You could put this over the stove. Like, you could do however you want, but this is just so easy, and I want easy. I'm a mom, I need to make my coffee quick. I want something good, I want something quick, so this is the quickest method for me. All right, my coffee is now done, so I'm gonna attempt to kind of pour it in there without making too big of a mess. And then the final step is to add whipped cream. I have homemade whipped cream that I make at the beginning of the week and just use it throughout, but you can also do a can. And I just like to throw a little dollop on top and then mix it up. All right, let's see how this turned out. That is so, so good. So warm. That is so delicious. So good. All right, so since we've made that one, we're gonna go move ahead to the pumpkin spice latte. And for this one, I'm sorry to report, but for the best results, you really do need a saucepan. It doesn't take long, it's still super easy and quick, but you do kind of need the saucepan just to make sure the sugar really melts and blends. So what I did was I poured my coffee, my half cup of coffee into this cup, and I'm also gonna go ahead and pour my milk into the cup to where I want it, like say there. So in total, it looks like that. Little room for the pumpkin spice kind of stuff and whipped cream, but I just wanted to do that so that I know how much to put in the saucepan. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the coffee and the milk blend into my saucepan. And then in this cup, I have 2 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. You can use from a can. This is fresh from a pie pumpkin, but you can use from a can. You need 2 tablespoons of that. I also have a half teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. I make my own blend. You can look up a thing online. I just have this like for all winter for pumpkin pies, for this recipe, you know, for whatever. But mom quick, if you want, they do make pumpkin pie, like actual spice that you can pre-buy. So they have that. And then the last thing you're gonna need is 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. So if you do wanna cut back a little bit on that sugar content, you can use 1 tablespoon of agave instead and get pretty much the same effect, but I'm going full on sugar today. So you're just gonna then go ahead and add that to your saucepan. Okay, so then you're putting it on the stove over medium-low heat. You don't want the milk to burn. And then just kind of use a whisk to blend it all together. And really the only thing you're looking to do is get that sugar and pumpkin to kind of melt and blend inside. Should not take very long, especially because your coffee is pretty much already hot. All right, so that really only took about a minute or 2. And then I'm just gonna transfer it from the saucepan back to my cup. Add some whipped cream because of course you have to. And here we go. So good. It tastes like pumpkin pie in a cup. It's so good. If you use canned pumpkin, it might get a little like stringy. You may want to blend it and make sure it's really good and pureed. But this is so good. So cozy. It just like fall in a cup basically. So cozy. Now, if your kids are anything like mine, they might want a little something too. So we'll make what I call a steamer, which is just like the exact same thing that I just made without the caffeine, without the coffee. I have my 2 tablespoons of pumpkin. I actually did the tablespoon of agave just because it's for a kid. I mean, I don't know, maybe I should have that too, cut on the sugar, but you want better for your kids than for yourself. And then I'll do the pumpkin pie spice and the milk, heat it up. Steamer, easy fall kids drink. One thing to note if you are making it for a child is that you do not need it as hot as if you were making it for yourself. So just, you know, very quickly on the stove just to make it a temperature that they can drink. And especially if you're not doing the sugar and it doesn't have to dissolve, if you're just using agave, it's already liquid, it's already like easily blended. So you really shouldn't have to do it long at all. Don't let them burn their mouths. So then I'll go ahead and just pour this in the kids' cup. Add a little bit of whipped cream for her as well. And a little something extra, add a couple of marshmallows. Whenever I serve it with kids, I always like to add the saucer with the teacup, just in case there are any spills. There we go. What do you think?
Good.
Good, you love it? What does it taste like?
Pumpkin.
All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope you try out some of these drinks and enjoy them. They're just so nice and cozy for some of this cooler weather coming up. I'll see you guys in the next video.